Everybody, welcome to another edition of My Favorite Restaurant. I'm Earl Farrell. Tonight we're going to take you to a restaurant that began life as a barbecue restaurant back in 1977 in the Village area of Houston. Since then, they have opened 5 restaurants, including this upscale seafood restaurant on the Katy Freeway. Tonight, we introduce you to one of the most successful restaurant chains in Houston, the Good Company Restaurant.
So he'd go up down the street with a tray full of barbecue sandwiches and just give them away to people. An elderly woman and a man had this little barbecue place here, and there used to be an old drive-in hamburger or something other, and they wasn't doing much business, and I understand the husband passed away, and Jim wandered in there one day and told the lady that he had really a strong interest in going into the barbecue restaurant business. And the way I understood it, she said, "When do you want to start?" And he said, "Well, I really don't have that much money." She said, "Well, you don't need that much money." Because she was ready to move out, and she was ready for somebody to come in.
Just to take it.
And so I think Jim scraped together a few $1,000s, very, very little money. And she took it, and she walked out, and he took over the barbecue restaurant, not knowing anything about the business or anything.
And then one day I was just messing around, and I came up here to this place we're using now, and there was nobody in there. They had a reputation of making people sick. It was
not good in the restaurant
no,
business.
There was nobody in that restaurant. And when they had barbecue at night, and they didn't spend any money maintaining anything. They had barbecue at night, and in the morning all the smoke would be inside the restaurant. So anything that was white was tan, you know. It became tan. I said, well, people owe me about $6,000 for artwork I've done. She said, well, if you can go, I said, I could probably go to the bank and get some money on these receipts. And she said, okay, I'll tell you what, you go see if you can get the money, and then you pay me, I think it was like $7,000, and then you can pay me the rest, because I'm going to go to Tyler, live in Tyler. And I said, okay.
So you're going to let you pay out the rest of it?
Yeah, pay out the rest of it, yeah.
And how much more was it?
It was $18,000.
Total thing, $18,000.
Yeah. And so I moved in on that was Saturday, and I opened for business on Monday.
He had this uncle, Joe, supposedly knew how to cook barbecue. So he brought his Uncle Joe in with him, and they more or less lived in the restaurant 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. They literally slept on the tables, watching the pits, timing the barbecue, knowing how it was going to come out, and so forth. And he brought his mom and dad in. His mother was an outstanding cook. His father knew how to cook. They knew how to cook beans and Mexican rice. His mother knew how to bake pies, which we sell by the thousands. Still her recipe.
Really?
Yeah, Mom came through on the pie recipe. And it was real hard going for years. You know, he had to work hard 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and trying to get this thing going. And,
You told me that at first he actually went out and gave food away.
He did. He'd fix all this barbecue and for lunch, and he had a few people come in, and if they didn't come in, he had all his food, and he was trying to get it out front to his customers, so he'd go up down the street with a tray full of barbecue sandwiches and just give them away to people. Say, if you like this one, how about coming by and buying one from me next week?
We came up with something that was pretty servable. It wasn't the greatest brisket in the world, you know. You'd have to chew it for about half a day to get it down. But people started coming. Most of the people in the art community knew I was doing this, and so they started showing up. And I think the first day we made about $50 gross.
I knew he was going to expand because he had all these things in his brain that he wanted to do, you know. Like he said, you know, you go down the road, you know, it's hard to find a good hamburger. If I ever get an opportunity to open up a hamburger restaurant, I'm going to open up a hamburger restaurant. And so he went in there with the purpose of doing flame broiled hamburger patties on mesquite grilled wood
The way you would in the backyard.
That's right, the way you would in the backyard. Good fresh bread, baked fresh every day, you know, hands-on, everything's done by hands-on, you know. You got your own employees making your own patties. You're not going out buying frozen patties by the boxes to serve somebody.
We started selling hamburgers. I think the first day we sold like 650.
650?
Yeah,
The first day.
first day. And we used to have good following, and we supported the little league and the livestock show and all that stuff. And people were ready for it. You know, it was all
But your idea was to do an open flame hamburger.
right.
Char grill the hamburger.
Plus all fresh meat. We did all our deboning and everything right there, grind it up, and it was a little different for that time.
But also the Mexican food concept with it, hamburgers and Mexican
Yeah,
food.
well, we had a big lunch, but didn't have much supper. So I said, well, let's do some chili con carne. So we did some chili con carne. People liked that, and then we started making some tortillas, and then it just
Did you know anything about making Mexican food at the time?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I'm biggest part of my blood is Mexican, and I've been on cooking tours in Oaxaca, some other places down there, so I know a little bit about it. And we're just trying to find something everybody liked, and no, not really fast food, but good food. And it's done real good. I don't think we would have went anywhere without these employees. I mean, these guys in Mexico, they come here with religion. They come here with knowing how to work hard, and they're just great people. We have whole entire families working for us over
Really?
there. And when they have an anniversary working here, we get the mariachis, and everybody stops working and make a big deal out of it. And
Because it is a big deal.
it is.
And just like Jim's employees, you know, you can have the best product in the world. If you don't have good employees, your product's going to only go so far. And that's the way Jim takes care of his employees. He treats them like family. So it just kicked in, you know, and it just kind of evolved, and he always loved fishing and seafood. So what's next?
Seafood.
So you get to the point where you're able to do this, and so he says, oh, you know, we need a seafood restaurant. Jim don't do anything simple. Simple is not in his vocabulary, so when they started talking about doing a seafood restaurant, we don't maybe we'll put that in a 1940s railroad car.
Everybody, you know, everybody really enjoys it. We have a lot of repeat business, and you know, we have people that drive anywhere from San Antonio to from Clear Lake or San Antonio to come eat with us, you know, on a weekly basis, and everywhere in between. So we're happy and just keeping our head down and keeping it right. It's a big place. It's the biggest restaurant we have in the company, so by about twice as big as all the rest of them. So.
What are some of the items on the menu that people just are the perennial favorites?
We have a signature dish called Capuchana. It's a kind of similar to ceviche. It's got diced avocados, lump crab meat, shrimp. It's tossed in a house salsa we make, and we serve it with tortilla chips. We sell more of that than anything else in a restaurant. And we do a lot of mesquite grilled preparations, you know, fresh fish on open mesquite grill, and that tends to be very popular items as well.
It's just a great food. I mean, the quality of the food is just wonderful. We don't have anything like that in Austin or Dallas. I'll tell you that.
Well, we're his greatest fans because I tell everybody about it.
In fact, let me tell a little story. I was playing golf with a guy the other day, and I said, "I'm going to Houston." He said, "This was in Austin." He said, "Now, you like seafood, don't you?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "You need to go to that good seafood." I said, "That's where we're going. We've already got it planned."
I never was much a success before I got into this business. I mean, I made a little money in the advertising business, being an artist, but besides that, I was just trying a lot of different things. I just put my arms, stretched my arms out, and I was a welder. I did a lot of different things and found out what I didn't like. And it feels good for people to slap you on the back and tell you you're doing a good job, and the telling you that the food's real good and seeing the same kids come back makes you feel real good.
Jim Good has good reason to feel good. His barbecue reigns as the best barbecue in Houston, according to readers of the Houston Business Journal in the spring of 2003. In fact, of the 18 barbecue restaurants in this category, Jim Good Barbecue had more votes than all the rest combined. And even after 25 years in business, you'll be hard-pressed to find a seat on a Sunday afternoon at a Jim Good Barbecue restaurant. Along the way, Jim has opened 5 restaurants, 2 barbecue restaurants, 2 seafood restaurants, and the Hamburger Taqueria. In his spare time, he got involved in cowboy cooking contests and traveled all around the country buying all the Western memorabilia that you'll see on the walls of his barbecue restaurants. In between fishing trips, Jim and his staff opened a store he called the Good Company Barbecue Hall of Flame, located just across the street from his first barbecue restaurant. Here you could find just about every kind of outdoor cooking device and utensil that's made, and of course, barbecue sauce. You could also be outfitted from head to toe in authentic cowboy regalia. I said could because since we taped this segment, Jim's been at it again. He's closed the Hall of Flame and is soon to open another Jim Good idea. There's also the website where you can order just about everything Jim makes online, including those pies. By the way, thousands of those pecan pies go out every year during the holidays to homesick Texans all over the world. What's your favorite dish here?
I haven't found a bad one.
Welcome back to My Favorite Restaurant, featuring the Good Company Restaurants, one of the most successful homegrown restaurant chains in Houston. Now you'll hear why straight from some of the customers.
I always get the po' boy and like the seafood campechana. Yeah, that one's really good. Their seafood cocktail, yeah, it's really good.
We've been coming over here for, I guess, about 3 years already. You know, we usually tend to come at least once a month, you know, to get some seafood. And I like the service more than anything over here. I think it's they have really good service, and that's something that I value, I guess, you know, when I go to a restaurant. And I'm really happy.
I've been coming to Good Seafood Restaurant for at least the past 10 years.
What keeps you coming back?
The flounder, the mesquite grill flounder is excellent.
The good food and the great service, and just the atmosphere is excellent.
Do you have a favorite dish here?
Probably the mesquite rainbow trout. I like that a lot.
The people watching is good too, on top of everything else.
We're from Oklahoma.
And it's not our first time, because usually when we come down, our son lives here in Houston, and he used to live over in Westview, and we were at the rodeo tonight, so we came back by. We used to be here all the time when he come down to see him, but it's been a couple of years since we've been here now.
So when you come back to Houston, you usually try to stop by?
Either here or one of the other good countries with barbecue. We like them.
What's your favorite dish here?
I haven't found a bad one.
I usually have the fajitas.
Okay.
Yeah, they're good.
And what do you like at the seafood restaurant?
Oh, the campechana.
That's your specialty.
That is the best.
They said they sell a lot of those.
They do, and they make a lot of. And when I go there, usually get campechana extra. That's really good. It's got all the seafood in it.
I love the grilled catfish. It's one of my favorite. It's a big portion, and it just fills me up. It's very good. I like it.
And have you tried the barbecue or the seafood restaurants?
Yes, we love the seafood, and I like the gumbo there, and also their fried shrimp, and they have some combination platters that are always really good there.
How long have you been coming to the Good Company restaurant?
That's a good question. Probably for about 10 or 12 years, something like that. We're native Houstonians, so I don't know how long they've been around, but it seems like as long as they've been around, we've been around.
Do you plan to keep coming back?
Yeah, of course. It's one of our favorite restaurants, definitely.
Well, Mr. Good is, he's got his hands in everything, but he does stay behind the scenes. He puts the right people in charge, and yes, he goes from restaurant to restaurant, but he does let his people handle things his way, and he basically stays out of their way.
I'm happy. Employees are happy. Customers seem to be happy. I guess that's all you need.
As simple as it sounds, that is all you really need to be a success in the restaurant business. Oh yeah, don't forget the good food part. That's what makes the whole thing work. And the good company restaurants have that part down pat.